Hello everyone, Justin Bradford, Penalty Box Radio, coming to you from my basement. Post-game report from the Predators' first scrimmage, one of only two before the season gets started next week. Crazy to think, no preseason games. Lots of evaluation going on in these scrimmages. Still missing a few players, but an 8-2 victory for Team Blue, which definitely seemed to have most of the talent for the Nashville Predators. Still missing some players. A little bit of a disadvantage for Team Gold, but it was a good night for the Jofa line. Forsberg and Johansson, Arvidsson, they were all just working very well together, as you would expect. Roman Josi, Ryan Ellis did very well together as well. Obviously, those aren't the ones we're trying to really evaluate and look at right now, nor is the team really as well. But there were some players that did stand out. Mathieu Olivier is one of those guys. He had 2 goals, one of them on a great breakaway. And it was just good to see him out there, and he's obviously working hard. So it's one of those things, too, where the Milwaukee Admirals obviously helped prepare him for that, and head coach Carl Taylor and his staff there in Milwaukee helped prepare him for this moment.
Well, I think our season in Milwaukee last year, we had a really good team, and so it gave the coaching staff a chance to play everyone. We just rolled 4 lines all year, so I think everyone on that team gained its experience, and I think that helped me tonight to, I grew in my game last year in Milwaukee, and the coaching staff helped me to do that as well. And so I think tonight I just focused on that, and it paid off.
Olivier, as we've seen in the past, has had a great personality, but what he's doing right now is not focusing on that as much. It's focusing on making the team working hard, but he feels like he's one of the new guys and still trying to make a good impression. And here's what he had to say about that.
Yeah, I think I've always been someone that's outgoing in the sense that I like to make sure everyone at least gets a hi and feels welcome. But in this situation, I'm a new guy trying to come in and trying to make an impression. So I think just being myself, but just worrying about me is going to get the job done in that aspect. And hopefully, as time goes on, it'll continue to be that way.
While Ellie Tolvin didn't get on the board tonight, he spent a lot of time in the power play in his sweet spot, just in the face-off circle, just trying to make good plays. Head coach John Hynes has been impressed with him as well, so he's trying to do a lot of the good things there. One of the big things for him coming into the season, he had 25 games with Jokerit in the KHL. Hopefully that would help him. Here's what he had to say about playing pro before even coming into training camp with the Preds.
I think that's a huge advantage. I already got 25 games into me, and since the first day of the camp, it's been really high tempo and pace has been really good. So I think I'm more prepared than some of the other guys. And I felt good out in Europe, and I've been feeling pretty good and during this training camp too.
Filip Forsberg had 3 primary assists in this scrimmage. It was a really good night for him. The chemistry was just flowing out there with Victor Arvidsson and Ryan Johansson. Not a shocker whatsoever. But it's one of those things that when you're up by so much, he was on Team Blue, and things are already going well for you. What are the little details that these guys need to be working on? What is he looking to fix and work on during these scrimmages when they know they're already clicking, but they know during the regular season they obviously have to have that structure to continue on to be successful?
I think it's just the team stuff that we're talking about. I mean, obviously we know, like you said, we know kind of where we are in our individual game, but we have to play the right way. We have to lead by example, I guess, a little bit. And I think we did that tonight. I thought we played fast, play direct in all 3 zones, really up and out of our own zone, and attacked the net pretty hard in the offensive zone. And I think it was an overall just great hardworking effort, which is what we have to bring every night.
And as I said before, it is definitely a challenge to not have some guys like Matt Duchene, Eric Haula, Mikael Glenlund, having those guys there yet. And obviously there are understandable reasons why they weren't able to play tonight, but it's definitely a challenge to not have that balance there as well. Head coach John Hynes addressed that when I asked him about it and how much of it is a challenge, but also how it creates an opportunity for other players to be able to step up.
Well, it's just part of what it is, and I think it's a good experience for our group. Where I think when you look at what's going to go on this year, you have to make sure that it's a next man up mentality, and whoever's tagged to be able to play has to do a good job. I think if you look on the positive side of it, is it gives you the opportunity to have guys play in some different roles or called upon to play bigger roles than they might be if you had the full camp. I would imagine going into Sunday's game, we should have more players possibly available for us, which will be good. But I thought tonight was a good start, and I think it was a good evaluation on some guys that we need to know about.
And when one team is up by a lot, I mean, it was an 8-2 final for Team Blue, is this an opportunity for the coaching staff to evaluate how players react in these situations? There's obviously going to be situations where a team could be up by a lot or down by a lot. How do the players react? How do they stay motivated in these games? That gave him an opportunity to be able to do just that.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that's why we really didn't, change some of the teams. Because I think, when you look at, say, the blue team that was up quite a bit, does the game change? Does it get more perimeter? Does it get more high risk? Or are we going to play the game the right way regardless of the score? And then the other one is for the team that's down, is they got to dig in and they got to continue to find out why. I think one of the things for the gold team that got them in trouble was their puck management. Was getting the puck out of the zone and executing. There was multiple times there were turnovers, and then they got hemmed in the defensive zone. And I also think some of the things that got them in trouble early in the game were some turnovers at the offensive blue line. And when the other team has momentum, for example, when blue has momentum, then gold has to understand how they need to play to get the momentum back. And that'll be a big, I think a big lesson coming out of it. So that's why you do these, because you can't replicate these situations in practice. So I think there's a lot of really good things coming out of tonight's game.
There you have it. First post game of the 2021 season, recorded from my basement after the game. Thanks for all the Zoom calls. Big appreciation to the Predators PR staff for helping us get that organized and just letting us be at the games. I can't wait to bring you more coverage here in Penalty Box Radio. So signing off for now, Justin B. Bradford. Follow me on Twitter at Justin B. Bradford.